I just recently got to a point with God where He told me, you're not going anywhere. Like, the people who have caused me harm are the ones who are gonna leave. I asked Him, like, how? You know? And my answer was, like, don't worry about it. I've done this video 2 times already. The first one I was crying. The second one I was a little mad. This one will probably be the one. That almost had like a double meaning without even saying a word, really. I have put up with witchcraft attacks, schedules from people that I've known for a long time, portraying that they're not a part of it. Their family, certain family members of theirs, has proven that they know people who are a part of it because they were, mutual friends and shit like that on Facebook. And it's funny because it's so scary how you can give so many years to people that are a part of going against you or a part of a machine. And it's almost like they're waiting for that one fallout with you, which was originally their fault. Like, let's say if somebody kept doing something to you over and over and over again and you finally just did it back, but you didn't do it in the way they did it, and you didn't do it half as bad as they did, and they used that as a means to sell their soul, or as a means to be like, well, don't be surprised if I'm here but my soul isn't, things like that. But in reality, they had this agenda this whole time. And then when you look back at how you met them and how they had this, like, just the way they approached you was packaged, like I told you guys. Man, it's the same person that's going to try to set you up later and get away with nothing but evil. The type of evil that you couldn't even imagine. They take advantage of you during your vulnerable times, and your vulnerable times are the times that they're practicing witchcraft on you. So you're not really all there, but you're there enough to be an amazing mom. You're there enough to be there for your kids, you're there enough to allow your kids and God to shift you so much, in a sense that while they're trying to do this to you, you're seeing through the Maya more and more, and you're supposed to not. When you think of the schedules that you noticed people are on, and they really genuinely are so demonic, like the playing, like, piece, the leading piece that you would never look at, you would never blame them, literally making you feel and believe that you're crazy. What are you talking about? Ugh, oh my God, like, whew, there she goes, guys, when in reality everybody's in on it. the one thing I have to say is, don't do that to me. You're not going to do that to me. I am not the one, but then I am the one. Because it's like I said, I love life so much. You don't know me. You don't know what I'm capable of through God. And God sees all of this being done. The only difference is I've chosen to die internally and live through my flesh for God. Meaning I'm not going to cower out just because you think that I'm going to run. The people that do this to others are the same ones hurt them are nothing like my soul. So it makes no sense why they're so angry about the people that hold love for life. And I guess it does, because you're angry that you can't access that anymore. Why? Because you don't want to see your inner child. You rather hurt others. I have allowed this to go on for too long. I will not shift or alter any part of my life, of the life I'm living, just because you want to shake me up, just because you want to get me to feel the attacks and feel scared and feel like, finessed enough to where I'm not doing my inner work anymore, or not making music anymore, or not painting anymore, but you'll encourage my paintings, you'll encourage my music. But deep down inside, you hate me because I hold something you miss holding, and you believe that this is the only way out. This is the only way that you can connect to yourself. Are you serious? The amount of brains people have is just enough to connect them right back to source. Because just when you think that here's the thing. Your brain is wired off of what it's seen. But what happens when God shows you a mystical experience, and all of a sudden your brain has to take a snapshot of it, because that's its job. And now all of a sudden you have to accept a new truth because you've seen it. Everybody, that's why everybody's doing this to me, isn't it? And to certain people. Because they have to see it in the form first before they can believe in it, their subconscious mind, because they're indebted to their subconscious mind that has learned from the past but can't tell you what is going to happen in the future or in the now, because that's not its job. Its job is to just take a snapshot of the experience. You're the experiencer, and the experiencer is the same person as the observer. So, with that being a known fact and secret of God's, what would make you believe that your subconscious mind itself isn't going to ghost you for what it has been shown? The whole point is you live a new experience, your subconscious mind is going to take a snapshot of that experience. The same way you didn't have a choice the first 7 years of your life, and your brain took a snapshot, and you're literally paying for it now and making other people pay for it now, rather than sitting in it because it's your superpower and observing it with no identity. You realize that that's the same subconscious mind that is working for you now. It is meant to be a slave to you, not energy, a slave to the mind. And you think, you really believe that you're going to cause me such misery that I'm not gonna live my life. And it's the same subconscious mind that shows up with a bunch of memories and then disappears. That's why 1 minute you feel good, the next minute you feel like shit. Because the only time you complain about your life, like Joe Dispenza says, is when it isn't going so well. Why is it that when everything is going well and when your mind doesn't show up to remind you of all these things, hey, you're going to be just like them, you're going to be just like your mother, you're going to be just like your father, you're nothing, you're not going to amount to shit. How come that's the only time you use your awareness to be like, what? Why are you only reacting to one part of your life and expecting the people that you fuck with to not notice that? What do you think I spend my time doing? I may spend a little time here and there. You may have fucking broke my heart because I wanted to pick your brain the same way you wanted to pick my brain. But you have to realize that that was only like 20% of my time. The other percentage of my time was going to a lot of inner work. You don't realize or notice that your own subconscious mind ghosts you. Meaning, when you feel good, that's when it ghosted you. Like, people sell their souls off of a moment of depression, and then their mind kind of goes away for a little bit, and they have indicators and moments where they remember feeling on top of the world. They remember their innocence for a little bit. They're spending time around people who are godly, and they're supposed to only be getting information, but at the same time kind of finessing, you know, to get you to open up more. And like, but really it's their inner child that wants to remember that innocence. But one thing they're not realizing is their mind, during certain segments of that, ghosted them and let them do that. Like, a machine didn't let you do that, you know? If they had it their way, you would just do everything super, super textbook. But you got one person from the light that can only go so far to get to know somebody until they sell, until they sell their souls. And the person of the light knows that. And a person who is an agent for Satan, but is very smart and still very connected to their childhood, does the same thing and goes over to the light only to a certain extent before they actually are throwing themselves into that situation wholeheartedly, because you can only do that for so long until you realize you don't want to do it anymore. So while I was going through all this crazy stuff with someone I knew for so many years, I was sent somebody who I really did let in to a certain extent, because there's like one thing that I notice is that I can't have any friends or any like lovers or anything like that without that awareness. Like, it doesn't go away. It's just not gonna go away. It always pulls me out. God always pulls me out. But I'm still in my heart. So the little bit that I do let in still breaks my heart. And broke my heart a lot. Like, my heart is broken because I'm so tired of this. Like, everything that people are mimicking and mocking on behalf of God is everything that I deserve already. The way that I feel is like, I just want this battle against God to stop and to end, because if only people knew like how amazing God is. They wouldn't do this. And like, it started with me genuinely just following the templates to meeting God, meaning the universal laws. I call a template to meeting God. It's not I was like a non-believer for a short time, and then I watched Joe Dispenza, and I realized everything he was speaking was true. I was like, you know what? I can see my thoughts. Like, what the fuck? And I never realized, like, wow, When I started applying it, and I seen the microcrystals, that was my first mystical experience with God. And then it happened again. And then, like, things around me started to move when I went into the room, like 3 meters. Yeah, it started happening all the time. Then I started realizing that I can't do this for 1 second without witnessing something happen right after. Like, good or bad, it just depended on my vibration, and which is usually high. I had so many different experiences with it, like step by step. And then I started like realizing this is an innate intelligence for sure, like, and it's God, My perception of God changed because I went to church all the time, and when I was younger, and it was, I don't know what I thought, but my view of him has changed, drastically. So I cry for people who don't understand or understand what God is truly capable of and what people are capable of through him. Like, if you believe in yourself and you believe in the machine so much, you have no choice but to believe in the person also to whom your mission is against. Because without me, and without God, you wouldn't really have anyone to fight or any reason to be angry. And you act like you would know what to do with that, You act like your childhood would just go away if God just went away. But the truth is, the stuff that happened in other people's childhoods, they weren't of the consciousness yet to be able to fight back. The people that was around them were. But the level of consciousness that they were at that age came from oaths in their family from years and years and years ago that they rather just pretend never happened, or they do know and they just knowingly hurt you. But it took Satan-like behavior, not God-like behavior. It took Satan-type behavior to work through those adults and those people that hurt you in order for you to be hurt, in order for you to even have the anger to even fight against somebody like me or God. So the real truth is, who are you really mad at? Who is really suffering right now? Your memories? Your thoughts? Your thoughts are only reminding you of what happened. The experience is over. The person, this is just a molecular structure. The one who can see the thoughts and the person, the memories, the feelings. Well, that part of you is a part of God. It's an innate intelligence. It's not suffering. It's the only part of you that is real. Again, who are you mad at? Victimizing certain people. To feel better about going against each other, but the truth is, you're always gonna be going against somebody because you're going against each other at times, because in reality, which reality is not really real, you all have inner children who are driving you to the point of insanity because you refuse to use your awareness to see your inner child, to sit in the emotions that you wish people of authority at the time when you were younger would have sat in. And you feel like you've done too many things in life for you to ever be worthy. But the truth is, God counts in everything that you do, meaning your choice to see your inner child is going to stop the next act of hate. You've got the answer right in your hands. That's the clearest answer that you're ever going to receive. You're always going to go against each other until you see yourself. And you can't see yourself when you're worried about what happened in the past, what you've done, the shame from it. Are they going to forgive me? Is that person going to forgive me? Am I going to get, to see my innocence again? Whatever was taken from you will be restored the minute you stop going against your real mission. Because that's never going to change. That ground truth. Your awareness when you were a newborn, 1 year old, 2 years old, 3 years old, 4 years old, 5 years old, then the world got to you and you just gave up, is what happened. But gave up on what? You didn't even know that you were in awareness. It is the part of you that people are afraid to die internally, because it's like I said, with those memories come feelings, and feelings have chemical releases to them, and they release like certain proteins. And every second you're either releasing a cheap protein or a rich protein based off of the feelings you're practicing. It's your choice. But I want you to know that that business that I want to start, the music that I'm going to make, the mom that I'm going to continue to grow into, the love that I hold in my heart will continue to grow, with or without you. I just know that God is using me to show people the way, and a lot of other people. I love you, and I pray for you. Lord, I pray for my enemies. I pray that you give them the eyes to see who they really are, once and for all. This is a great reset. I pray that you bless them in their lives. I pray that when you do bless them, that they never look back. This is a great awakening. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.